Okay guys, so I'm gonna show you guys my sneaker. So you see it's a little dingy right on the brim of the sneaker. You can see the front's kind of dirty. Let me back this up a little bit. Yeah, so like I said, I normally do circular motions. I feel like that works the best. No matter what kind of brush you're using, I feel like when you use circular motions, it helps break up any dirt or grime or whatever it is that you get on your sneakers. But sometimes when it's like really on there and you're trying to, or if you're trying to be quick, just do the classic, just boom, boom. And then the best way to do this, you gotta put your hand in the sneaker all the way to the toe. That way you can move it around, and then if you need to hold it steady, you don't have to worry about, because if you hold it like this, sometimes what happens is the shoe will shake and then you'll get all slippery, and then it just makes it harder. So put your shoe, or your hand in the shoe, my bad. And just do circular motions. So I know, like in this area, the toe of the sneaker, it's a little bit harder because it's a smaller space. So there are multiple ways you can do this. You can either just hold it and then just go side to side, side to side, or you go hold it at an angle, the brush at an angle, and then do circular motions. And it's a lot easier. But yeah. So in this situation, since I'm not on a time crunch, but I just want to show you guys, if you're like in a rush and you need your sneakers clean for whatever reason, just go like this. If you feel like you need a little bit more, you don't always need more soap or more cleaner or whatever you want to call it, soap, cleaner, detergent, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes you just need a little bit more water. And as you can see, the more water you add, it starts to soap up a little bit more. So you don't need to add constant of the cleaner, because you don't want to waste it, and then you gotta keep buying more. So it's more so adding water instead of adding soap. So as you can see, I only dipped in the little bin. You guys can't really see it. It's hard to see it, but you can tell that it got a little bit more soapier because I added water. So you always want to make sure you get a good scrub to make sure you keep the shoe clean. Because nobody wants to walk around with dirty shoes. Nobody. Like, honestly, I've been cleaning sneakers for almost a year now. Actually, a little over a year now. And for me, anytime I see somebody with dirty sneakers, I just want to go grab their sneakers and be like, let me clean these for you. But yeah, like I can already see a major difference. So what I do is some people say you're supposed to just let it air dry, and that's what you're supposed to do at the end. But just to do a quick check, I'll take a rag, go over right where I was. As you can see, it's nice and clean now. It's white. I'm getting rid of that dinge that was on there. So the whole goal of this is to maintain your sneakers so you can have them longer. Because if they're dirty, then they start to get worn out. If they're worn out, then they're going to start looking old. And they look old. Nobody wants to walk around with old looking sneakers, so they're going to wear them less until the point where you're like, okay, I can't fit these. I need to throw them out or donate them or do whatever. I personally have kept most of my old shoes for, even when I didn't wear them, I still kept them until like I just got to the point where I couldn't hang on to them anymore, so I donated them. So I highly suggest doing that. You don't have to hold on to them like I did, but you can. I'd rather you donate sneakers to somebody that needs them instead of just throwing them out. Because plus, if you think about it, like you throwing them out, that you're wasting $120, $130, $140 that you spent on your sneakers. So I'd rather it go to somebody else after I've already worn them 100 times over. Unless if there's honestly no real way you can get to shoes where the point you can't wear them unless like the sole's coming off or the tongue's ripped out or something like that. But if they're in decent condition where the point where you could wear them if you wanted to, then yes, I suggest donating them. I donate mine to Goodwill, but if there's any other charities or any other organizations like Goodwill near you, I suggest that you go to them or whatever's convenient to you. Because nobody wants to throw out sneakers. And plus, you never, like I said, you never know. Somebody could really need a pair of sneakers. Or just shoes in general. So yeah, like I said, circle motion. I'm getting all the backs of the sneakers. See, the way I always do this, always focus on one general area at a time. So I'm doing from all this red at the bottom. I'm doing all this. All this. Because what happens sometimes is, if you try to rush it, so say I started doing this, did this for 2 seconds, and then I went to the brim, then I went up, and I feel like I'm spreading dirt, and then like when I look back at it, oh, I missed a spot. So if you just focus on one area, and then clean that spot, and then move on, then you'll be less likely to miss any spots. But another tip for cleaning sneakers, you should always look over your sneaker before you say like, okay, I'm finished. Because you never know. You could have like, so say you step in mud, and like you're cleaning it off, and then like there's a little bit on the back, and like it dries up again, and then it's going to be harder later to get off. Because if it dries up, it's kind of like when you get a stain on your shirt. If you let that stain sit, it's going to just stay there, and it's going to be harder to get out. But if you take the shirt off and then wash it immediately, then it will be a lot easier to get out. So it's kind of one of those, the sooner you get it done, the better it will work. So as you can see, all this is clean. Now I can work on this bottom part. Not the blue, but it's more so the heel of the sneaker. So right now I need a little bit more of the cleaner. So like I said, you start off with 3 to 4 drops, maybe 5 if it's in that bad of condition. When you're adding more, I suggest doing 2 drops. So that's 1. That's 2. And remember, just dip the brush in your little bowl of water and just get the spots that you need to get to. And something that I noticed, this actually is a little scented. I can't really tell what the scent is, but it does smell really good. So it actually is going to make your shoes smell a little bit fresher. So that's also going to help from sweat odors or dirt odors or anything. And another tip, if for all you dog owners, make sure when you're wearing your sneakers, always keep an eye on the ground, because you never know when you could step in dog poop, and that's the hardest thing and it's the worst thing to try to clean out of sneakers. And like even if you go to somebody else's house and they have a dog, always keep an eye out, because like even they say, hey, clean out the dog poop so you don't have to worry about it. You never know, because that dog could have pooped right after they finished cleaning it. So always keep an eye out for dog poop, especially when you're wearing nice sneakers. So yeah, you just want to always stick with one general area. So right now I'm focusing on around anywhere that's white. So that's what I'm gonna do. What I always suggest, if you're going to get the foot part of it, so the sole, I always suggest doing this last. Because one, that's going to be the hardest. So you're going to need to just scrub. And also, as you're cleaning this part, the rest of the shoe can dry. And also, if you use a little bit too much water, which has happened to me before, I used a little bit too much water, and it started dripping. If you're doing this last, then eventually it's going to drip on the ground. See, right now I have a towel on the ground. You guys can't see it, but I have a towel on the floor. So if it does drip or anything like that, then I don't have to worry about it, because it's on the towel and not on anything like the carpet or anything else that I might need. So like I said, circular motions in the same general area. Just keep that nice and clean. Okay, then you take the rag and just dry it off. because like I said, it doesn't take much water and doesn't take much soap either for it to be cleaned off. So just make sure you get that thoroughly. Now at this point, I gotta get here. I gotta get the top. So I'm gonna add a little bit more cleaner, but I'm only doing 1 drop, and then I'm adding soap or adding water, not soap. Just look. 1 drop, then just a little bit of water. And now you can just, because at this point you're pretty much almost done. So the harder parts, which is here, along the brims, and here, because this is where most of the dirt gets picked up. That's where you want to focus on. So here you can see if there's any dirt on it. Right now there's no dirt on the sneaker because I know how to maintain my sneakers. It's not even just about maintaining them and knowing how to maintain them. It's just taking good care of them. Like I rarely ever wear the same sneaker 2 days in a row. And that's for multiple reasons. One, because I never wear the same colored outfit in a row. Because I'm the type of person where if I'm going to wear an outfit, I base that outfit off of the sneakers that I wear so everything matches. So I know that sounds kind of weird. Like normally they'll do the opposite. Like they'll get an outfit and then wear the sneakers that matches that outfit best. But I just plan on whatever sneakers I'm going to wear the next day. That's how I plan my outfit on. So I haven't worn these in the past couple days because I haven't really been anywhere. So the past couple days I've just been wearing my slides anytime I go out somewhere. So it's been a little over a week now. I think about it, since I worn these. So yeah, always make sure that you get, and as you're drying it, take a good look at where you just cleaned, because you never know. Like I said, you never know if you missed a spot or not. And if you miss a spot, it's okay. Just try to. And if it's like really, really in there, you just gotta keep scrubbing. But then sometimes what happens is it'll be in there and like you're at the point where I can't scrub no more and it's still there. Take a rag and then see and like try to press down as hard as you can and see if it'll come off. If it doesn't come off, that means that it's been on your shoe for a long time and it's gonna take a lot. So in that situation, what I would do, I would take like a damp rag and then just run it across the spot that's dirty and kind of let it sit there for, let's say, about an hour and a half, maybe 2, and then just go back to scrub it and it should come off. And if that doesn't work, then you just keep doing the same thing and let it sit there a little bit longer. So at this point, I just got to get this part, the laces, even though the laces aren't really dirty, so I really don't have to touch those. But yeah, this part, and then I gotta get the bottom. Like I said, I'm gonna do the bottom last because it's the hardest thing to get. Because not only you can see that the color's kind of faded here and all through here, but also sometimes what happens is things get stuck in between those little crevices, and you just gotta. I can normally pick them out with my fingers, but sometimes you might want to get like tweezers or a toothpick or something to get it out if it's too small. See, the creases on this thing it's not that bad. So like if there was something stuck in between there, I could get it out. But I know with different shoes, the soles are shaped differently. So just dip it in water real fast. Do circular motion. Always remember to do circular motions. If you're in a rush and you need them done quick, then yes, just do boom, 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 boom. But if you're not in a rush and you're just like, hey, I'm bored, maybe I should just clean my sneakers, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. But yeah, just do circular motions. And now, just take the rag and run it across where you just cleaned a couple times. Just make sure. And another tip that I normally do when I'm cleaning sneakers, I take a flashlight. So normally I'll use the flashlight on my phone, but I can't because that's what I'm recording off of right now. I know you guys can't see me, so just hang in there. But what I'll do is I'll shine the flashlight across the entire shoe just to make sure I got every single spot. So, onto the sole of the sneaker. Now, this is probably the hardest part. Actually, I've already said it's the hardest part. I don't know why I said probably. It is the hardest part. So this part, there are two ways to manage this. You can do like 4 drops across the entire shoe, or you could do about 5 or 6 drops on the brush and then dip it in. I suggest just doing the 5 or 6 drops. That's just my personal opinion. I feel like that works a little bit better. I know you guys are thinking like, why does that matter? The smallest things will always make the biggest difference. I know it sounds crazy, but that's just the way it is. So remember. And here it's going to be a little bit harder to do circular motions because as you're doing a circular motion, the indents on the sneaker soles, it's going to kind of slow you down. So just hang in there. Make sure you get the entire sneaker. See now when you're doing the sole, you can go up and back, or side to side, or do whatever because it's shaped differently. So do what you feel is appropriate. So at this one angle right here, it's at a slant. So I have to turn it a little bit and just go like this, and then just to make sure that there's nothing else in there. So yeah. Yeah, and like I said before, this takes a little bit longer, so you might have to sit there and do it for a few minutes. See, now right here it's a little bit difficult, but you can see that there's like a little bit of a cutoff between the sole of the shoe and then the brim of the shoe. So you just want to take your brush and go on it at an angle. So half of it's on the top part, half of it's on the side, and just go like that across the entire shoe. Just make sure you get it nice and good. That way it'll clean your sneakers a lot better. You can do quick ones. You can do, if you want to go back a couple times just to make sure, that's fine too. Like my sneakers were kind of dirty, but they weren't that dirty. So I really don't need to keep going like this, going like this, going like this. I can just, but it all varies between on how dirty your shoe is. And at the end of that, I'm going to dry it with this. Make sure you get every nook and cranny, every single crevice. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can really see it, but in each of these boxes there's a little bit of soap and water just built up in those crevices, so you want to make sure you get that. So like I said, if you really want to make sure that you did a good job, always shine a flashlight over it. And another trick that I'm doing, I'm wrapping my finger in the rag. I'm getting every single little crevice. I'm just making sure that I get everything because you don't want that sitting there, because that will actually attract dirt when you're walking and then it would build up, and then it's just going to be a little bit harder to get in. So I'm trying to make the work a little bit easier on you guys at the end of the day. So a lot of people, when they're cleaning sneakers at home and they don't have the proper equipment, what they'll do is they'll just take water from their faucet and then get dish soap or their body soap. I've actually seen somebody use their Bath and Body Works soap try to clean their sneakers. I was like, that's not correct. But he didn't know, so it wasn't really his fault. I wasn't mad at him or anything. I was just trying to help him out. So yeah, if you want to clean sneakers, whether it's for your personal use or if you want to clean your friends' new shoes or try to make money off of it like I did in college, I say go for it, because that's something that not a lot of people can do, and they don't have the insights for it. Because me, I wouldn't call myself a sneakerhead. However, I've been around a lot of people that are sneakerheads, and I know a lot of them, and they'll tell me like different things, and I actually find them very interesting. And eventually, I just started liking it. I was like, all right, let me start cleaning my shoes myself. And the first time I did it was with the Jason Marks equipment that I had in my first video. But my first video was not my first time cleaning sneakers. I had done that for like a good 6, maybe 7 months at that point before I decided to make a video on it. And yeah, that's when your boy CP was born. Yeah. And another thing, I came up with the name Your Boy CP. It actually came to me one day, and I was just sitting in class and I was just bored, and then like for some reason I just kept hearing myself like say it's your boy CP, and I was like that would be a really good like username for like Instagram or Snapchat or something. But I'd already had my Instagram and my Snapchat for the longest, and like I always tell people my Instagram and Snapchat are the same, so I really didn't want to change it, and then people would put in my old one and not the new one. So yeah, about a week later after I thought about that, I started cleaning sneakers for one of my dorm mates. And after I cleaned them, he said, "Oh, you should start making YouTube videos about cleaning sneakers." And I was like, "You think people will watch that?" And he was like, "Yeah, everybody's always trying to figure out how to clean their sneakers." So like, I went on YouTube, I looked up sneaker cleaning videos. Some of them had like 200,000 views. I know I saw one of them with like 1.2 million. I wasn't trying to. I knew I wasn't going to get a million or even 1,000 like the first night I posted it. I knew I was going to have to take some time. But I told myself, I was like, I can't just do sneaker cleaning videos, because then eventually it's going to all look the same. So what ended up happening was I just decided, I was like, all right, well, let me find some YouTubers that I find interesting. And I found Dang Matt Smith, who I found was hilarious. And he kind of inspired me to make YouTube videos. But I was still kind of iffy if I really wanted to do it. Then he did a collaboration with SS Sniper Wolf, and I started watching a couple more of her videos, and she had me laughing so hard on one of her kids' funniest test answers. And eventually, I got to a point where I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna start doing YouTube videos and see how well I do." And due to my subscriber count, I'd say I'm doing pretty well. In all honesty, like I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I just think I'm doing pretty well. But anyway, guys, as you can see, sneaker is nice and clean. I love these Jordans. These are my favorite pair. I've been wanting these for a grip, and it took me months to get these, because when they first came out, they sold out almost instantly. Let me phrase that. They sold out in this color and this style almost instantly because of the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie. Then it took me. I kept looking for them on different websites, and some of them was like 200, one of them was like 180. I saw one of them, it was like 350. I was like, I'm not paying that. So I was looking for a decent price. I wasn't trying to spend more than 150. If it was 160 or 170, I would be like, all right, that's a lot, but I think it will be worth it. I also saw one pair, and it said it went for $50, and like I looked into it, and it just, for some reason, I just didn't trust it. It seemed like the site that it was on, it was not the greatest, so I ended up not using that site. Then I found another site, and these were 120, which I found was more than reasonable for sneakers like these, especially Jordans. So, and the rest is history. But I want to thank you guys again for watching this video. I'm not going to use the 2 sprayers right now. I'm going to use those a little bit later. So the freshener I can use later, and the waterproofer I can use later. So, and you pretty much do the same steps for the other sneaker. So it's not like, oh, I got to show you guys me cleaning the other one. So, yeah. So if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe. And make sure you hit that like button and try to get this video to 100 likes. And I will see you guys next time.